Ladies and gentlemen, breaking news. Raiders star pass rusher Chandler Jones has been officially released by the team. We know that Chandler Jones has been acting out on social media, been making a lot of claims, a lot of unsupported claims about the Raiders head coach and owner Mark Davis. We have documented this on our channel, and things reached a tipping point just last night. TMZ reported his arrest. He violated a protective order, and we have some more details about exactly what happened last night, apparently going to his baby mama's home. But then Adam Schefter here says that the Raiders are releasing Chandler Jones officially, and Jones has been away from the team since Labor Day weekend. He was placed on the NFI list just recently, but then he was arrested for violating a domestic violence temporary protective order. And Chandler Jones just recently, remember, said he was taken against his will and later transferred to a mental health facility. So Raiders Chandler Jones was arrested for stealing items outside of his ex-girlfriend's home and then burning them in his backyard and then sending her videos of the whole thing. We heard about this. It's apparently on Snapchat when he did this, and this was the tipping point. So we have all the allegations 2 weeks ago about Raiders owner Mark Davis and head coach Josh McDaniels, more allegations, more tirades on social media, and then we have this violating the protective order, burning the stuff in the backyard, sending her videos. There was a temporary restraining order, and apparently he violated that and was seen on the home security cameras at least twice, and we had this picture of him. Now, he paid his bail, and keep in mind, Chandler Jones is out in the open. Like, he paid his bail and he's free. He was arrested, and now he has a court date set for early December, and the Raiders are eating a lot of dead money releasing him unless this is becoming conduct detrimental to the team. We don't have a word on that yet. Chandler Jones technically could end up signing with any other team if they do want him, but he does not seem like he is mentally well right now. And here's the thing, and when it comes to Josh McDaniels and the Raiders organization, GM Dave Ziegler, how they handled this situation, well, they reached out and signed Chandler Jones in 2022 to a 3-year contract for $51 million. And a lot of people have been mainly critical of them and mainly how they have not said much about this. It's sort of been just silence all around, and perhaps that is the smart thing to do. These are serious allegations, and you don't want to bring any comment and highlight the situation. But you got Josina Anderson here saying that once Chandler Jones posted on social media and when he was hospitalized against his will, we should have heard more from the team and the league on overarching matters. And I think it's not just the team. I think it's the NFL as well, not really getting involved in this and not really saying much to the public about this while he continues to post, continues to make absurd allegations. And sensitivity for a potential condition is still not a cloak for being questioned further on appropriate accountability and transparency when due. It's clear ever since the last time I've spoken to Jones that the situation had worsened. We're all pray for isolation has not been an added trigger. That's kind of a weird sentence there. But at the end of the day, the Raiders have handled it. And I think that's been the problem, at least from my perspective this whole time. Why have they not removed him from the team? Why have they not given more details about what's happening, clearing up that he's making absurd, false allegations? All they have done so far is say that this is a personal matter and absolutely nothing. Other than Josh McDaniels saying that it's a personal matter, the Raiders finally released a statement yesterday on the Chandler Jones situation, saying that the Raiders are hopeful that Chandler Jones receives the care that he needs. He, his family, and all those involved are in our thoughts, and this is now a legal matter. We will not be providing further comment. So it seems like it's become a legal matter because of the trespassing, because of violating the protective order, but it seems like prior to that, it was not a legal matter. Keep in mind, The Athletic reported just the other day before this arrest that the Las Vegas local police department and the fire department had no file on Chandler Jones. So it seems like it was not a legal matter at all prior to this Saturday when he showed up at his baby mama's house. And when it comes to the Raiders, what are they going to do financially? Chandler Jones has a fat contract, like we mentioned earlier. The Raiders are subject to potentially $12 million in dead money in both this year and next year. Keep in mind, they would pretty much be over the cap with this release. I don't know exactly what they're going to do because they restructured Chandler Jones' deal in March. This is according to ESPN right here, which often means that you eat even more dead money than you otherwise would with the guaranteed money plus voided years. So I don't know what they're going to do. It's unclear, according to ESPN, whether or not the Raiders are going to try to recoup any of the previously paid money to Jones that would be permissible as a result of him getting being placed on the NFI list. Now, him being placed on the NFI list, that's only like 4 games of money that you could recoup. The Raiders are still going to be in the hole for a significant amount of money with Chandler Jones. And look, man, even though things were not perfect with Chandler Jones last year, I think this guy is still probably one of the greatest defensive players in the history of the NFL. Look at all-time sack leaders. This is active sack leaders right now who are currently in the NFL. Only Cam Jordan and Von Miller have more sacks than Chandler Jones right now. He's above Aaron Donald, Khalil Mack in career sacks. The guy has 112 sacks going all the way back to 2012. He's put up a very impressive career. And if you're going not even active pass rushers, if you're just going all-time sack leaders in the history of the NFL, Chandler Jones is tied for 37th when you're looking all the way back to 1960. But if you only go back to 1982, Chandler Jones is actually 26 most sacks in the history of the NFL. I mean, that's impressive no matter what. Even if he does not bounce back from this, even if he does not, end up being able to be employed in the NFL again, he still has put up a very impressive career. And while he is going through this hard time, I think people should probably, try to think about some of the great aspects of Chandler Jones and how he has conducted himself throughout his career. He's always been a great person, representing teams, speaking to the media, and he's always been a great leader to so many football players around the world. And he has accomplished so much in his 11-year career. And I bring up all his numbers to say, is his career officially over? Prior to Saturday, like we mentioned earlier, he did not technically violate the law, and he probably would not have been released because it seems like this incident, which led to his arrest, triggered the release. It gave Raiders some grounds to release him, and it will probably give them some grounds to sort of negotiate and settle with his contract. That's what the Raiders did with Damon Arnett and Henry Ruggs, and that's what typically happens in these situations, is that you end up having a committee hearing and all this, and you end up having a settlement. You reach a settlement between the player and the organization if the organization claims that they did not fulfill their contract in a certain way. But Chandler Jones is a more complicated situation than Henry Ruggs and Damon Arnett, and this is because it's not a rookie contract. It's a fat contract, a huge contract for a star veteran, and it's a contract that has so many guarantees, much more than a rookie contract, plus a restructure, which is even more guarantees on top of that. And look, if he gets treatment, if he stops having these antics, another team is going to look for his services with his resume, with his ability to rush the passer, and he did look like he was still in shape around the scrimmages with the San Francisco 49ers in August. Think about it. Antonio Brown called the Raiders GM a cracker, did all his incidents, and teams were still taking chances on him years and years after. So Raider Nation's going to need to keep their eyes peeled to see what happens to Chandler Jones. And Raider Nation has a tough game ahead of them. Morale is low, but the Chargers have so many injuries. Check this out, man. Joey Bosa has been downgraded to doubtful. It looks like he's not going to play the starting center, and this is a big-time starting center for the Chargers. He helps do a lot of adjustments, a lot of checks. That's Corey Linsley. He is not going to be playing in this upcoming game. Keep in mind the Chargers just had Mike Williams go on IR. They still have great depth at wide receiver with Quentin Johnson, Keenan Allen, of course, and Palmer. But the Raiders are not facing a 100% Chargers team, so they should be able to try to take advantage of this. The Raiders have injuries of their own. Jimmy Garoppolo is questionable. Who knows if he will play? It seems not likely at this point, and I'm hearing from tons of people that Brian Hoyer is more likely to play than Aiden O'Connell if Jimmy G can't go. Wow, that's a bummer. But Nate Hobbs is also questionable. He had a great game last game. Malcolm Kuntz, who would be backing up Chandler Jones with Tyree Wilson, they've been rotating. He's questionable, and Max Crosby is questionable as well with the knee injury. He was not out there at practice on Thursday, did some limited work on Friday. If the Raiders don't have Max Crosby, this might be one of the worst blowouts that we've seen in a long time. So hopefully this guy, Mad Max, can be ready to go. Oh, and I almost forgot, Derwin James is doubtful for the Chargers, and Austin Eckler seems like he's still going to be out. He's been out for the past few games. We will be live during the Raiders versus Chargers game on this channel, WiFiWillie Raiders, and we're also going to be checking out the Saints versus Buccaneers game right before it on this channel live. We're trying to go live more often for different events, so make sure you subscribe to this channel so you do not miss the next one. My name is WiFiWillie. Peace out, and I hope you have a good one.